wish it was temporary. Broke my heart, see my brother name on that obituary. Too many motives, fake love, it been getting scary.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Ant, and we're back with another one. Today's video is going to be on a request that I got. The truth about hiring drivers, whether it's in a rental, in a truck that you own, finance, etc. I'm going to be giving y'all all the expenses and just giving y'all all the game on this. You know, because a lot of people just get a truck, put a driver in it, and just don't even think about what they're doing. They just take that risk without doing any research, without investing in any knowledge. Now, before I start this off, I'm going to tell y'all, if you don't know how to properly dispatch, if you don't know how to keep moving, if you don't know how to make that money, don't go buying a truck, don't go renting a truck, don't go doing none of that and then putting a driver in it. I don't recommend that. It's just not fair to you as a business owner, because you're not going to make no money, and it's not fair to have your driver in the middle of nowhere, stuck, not making no money. So I'm going to say that first. And if you want to learn how to dispatch properly, the ins and outs of trucking, I can help you. We got eBooks. All our eBooks are less than $50, are under $50. I also got the box truck blueprint. That's $100. It comes with all three to four ebooks at the price of two. We also got Mentorship, where we're by your side every step of the way. I also even got a how to start your company trucking setup. So basically, I'll hold your hand and walk you through every step of starting your box truck business. But yeah, y'all. All right, let's get to it. So first, we're gonna start off in a rental route, and this is gonna be first we're gonna start off in a hold on. I'll be right back. My queen's throwing up. She's nauseous, y'all. She's pregnant. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. So the way we're gonna do this is, because every week's different, so we're gonna do this with the minimum that I like to make, and I'm very consistent with it. The minimum. So we do weeks where we have 8, 9, 10, $11,000, but our minimum that we like to be at is like 5. We'll start at 5. So we're gonna do this at $5,000 above at $2 a mile. That's how we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna calculate our expenses, our profit, and everything from that. Because I know that I can make at least $5,000 a week. Now, I'll have a week where I might do a little bit less, like 4, which don't happen much. But then the next week we'll do like 8, 9. So we're gonna do this at the minimum, and then it's weeks where we do $3, $4 a mile. But we're gonna do at our $2 a mile minimum. Really, we can go as low as $1.80. We like to stay above that full truck market rate for semi trucks. Yeah, semi trucks, their market rate is $1.80, y'all. And now keep this in mind with the semi trucks. It costs $1 a mile to run. It's more dangerous. You know, shout out to all the semi truck drivers out there. It's just not making sense. That's why I never got into them. I went to go get my CDL, take my permit test, do all that stuff, but it's just not something I want to do. I just wanted to test myself. But in a box truck, it costs around like 40 to 60 cents to run. So like you get like 10 to 12 miles per gallon, and then gas is around like $3.50 to like $4 a gallon right now. And in a semi, you get 3 to 5 miles per gallon, so you're running at like $1 a mile already. And then in a box truck, it's like 10 to 12 miles per gallon. You get like 10 to 12 miles per gallon, so you get a double in a box truck. And it's a smaller truck, way safer. You know, big trucks, bigger risk. But, you know, you can make some big money. Now, one thing I will say is that getting a driver and putting a driver in a semi, you got to be making some serious money, because you could be losing a lot in that semi, and it's a way bigger risk. In a box truck, I'll say, like, if you know how to make that $5,000 minimum a week, whether you rent, which we'll get into the expenses, whether you rent, whether you own, finance, if you know how to make that money, I'll say it's worth it. And if you don't know how to make that money, come to someone like me that can show you everything. And my fault, I wasn't trying to put down semi-truck drivers It's just the facts. If you call a broker, the market rate on a semi is $1.80. Sometimes I'm calling and they're trying to give out $1 a mile. Now keep in mind, fuel is already $1 a mile in a semi. So we're not even going to get into the expenses on a semi truck, because just right there you automatically know you're losing. If fuel's $1 a mile, you pay your driver 20% of the gross. You know, you got insurance that you got to break down into weekly payments. You got factoring, you got tolls, you got all them expenses. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense. You got to be doing at least like $2.50 a mile for it to make sense in a semi. And even then, like I said, it's still big risk. All right, y'all. So let's get right into it. So in a rental, we'll start off with the. All right. So we'll start off with the. All right, 5,000. Say we do our $2 a mile. We're at 2,500 miles. All right. So that's at $2 a mile. Now, say fuel. Like I said, fuel in a box truck is going to be like around 50 cents. So like if you get 10 to 12 miles per gallon, sometimes you're getting a triple. It depends if what fuel is. Like sometimes in some states fuel is like $3.30. Like down in Texas, you can get fuel as low as like $2.70, $2.80 diesel. But when you're up in the Midwest, it might be $3.50, and when you're in the Northeast, it might be $3.80, $3.90. We had last year where the fuel went up all the way to like $5, $6. So you get at least a double in a box truck. So what I'm saying is, right now from that 2,500 miles, our minimum $5,000 at $2 a mile, 2,500 miles. I'll say fuel, we'll say $1,200. But sometimes you're only on that 2,500 miles, you're only spending like $900. If you're getting that 12 miles per gallon and you're getting fuel for $3 to $4, you're almost getting a triple. So, all right, so we'll say $1,200. We'll start off $1,200 with the fuel. We'll start off $1,200 with the fuel. All right, y'all. So we're at $1,200 with the fuel. All right. Insurance, an average insurance payment. So for me, when I started off, I was $2,600 with Progressive, but I had gotten to an accident 3 years before, so I guess my insurance was a little higher than most people. Also, I was under the age of 25 when I started. I was 22 when I started. So basically, I'll say like an average insurance payment is around like $1,500 to $2,000. So we'll do the high end on that. We'll do $2,000. We'll do $2,000 on that. So if we break that down, usually it's 4 weeks. When you get that fifth week in a month, that's going to be a money maker. You're going to make so much money that month. But we'll say, it's usually 4 weeks in a month. So when we break that insurance payment down into weekly payments, that's like $500. So right now we're at $1,200 plus $500. That's $1,700. I'll say driver pay. I like to pay the driver 20% of the gross, not the net, y'all. 20% of the gross. If you're giving them 20% off the net, you're giving them hundreds. You need to give them 20%. You got to treat them like they're part of the business, like they're your partner, not like they're your employee. Treat them like they're your partner, because it's hard to find a good driver out there. You get a good driver, you want to treat them like they're really part of the team, not just they're just running for you and just making money. Treat them like they're part of the team. So get them 20% of the gross. Some people do 15, some people do 25. I feel like 20 is perfect, 1/5 of the business. So off that 5,000, that'd be $1,000. All right, so we're at $1,000, y'all. So right now we're at $1,200 plus $500 plus $1,000. Fuel, insurance, driver pay. So we're at $2,700, y'all. So we're at $2,700 right now. Now, factoring. Factoring is how you get paid next day. Factoring is anywhere from 2% to 4%. Whether if you got recourse or non-recourse, I got a whole video that explains that factoring stuff. Me, I have non-recourse. I'm an OTR Capital. If you would like to sign up with OTR Capital, literally just Google search their number. If you want, I could give you my direct contact. If you want, you could tell them my name. If you want, I'll take the nice little referral bonus. I think they give you like a small referral bonus. But like I said, I'm an OTR Capital. They pay you next day. I'm non-recourse. Started at 4%. So factoring, we'll say like the average factor-in pay is from 2 to 4%. A lot of people just got recourse because they just want to pay that 2%. I didn't heard as low as 1.5%. But so we'll say 3% of $5,000 is $150. $150, y'all. So now we're at $1,200 plus $500. $1,200 fuel, $500 for that weekly insurance payment. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people's expenses will be way less than this. This is someone that started out under the age of 25. This is someone that started out with higher payments with everything than most people. Like I said, I had an accident on my record. My insurance was higher. I started off in a rental. My rental payments was higher because I was under the age of 25. My fuel, everything. All right, let me not get on my rant. Let me just stay focused on the tab. So 3%, we're at 150. Now we're at 12, 5 plus 1,000. That's 27 plus 150. We're at 28.50, and give or take, tolls. Sometimes it can be $20 a week, sometimes up to 100. So we'll just say the average for tolls. We'll say $50 for tolls. Don't forget them tolls. Tolls are usually higher when you're in the Northeast and like Chicago, like big cities. So we'll say 2,900. Like basically big cities where you get the most tolls. 2,900. So now we're at 2,900 with your fuel, your insurance, your driver pay, your factoring. It's sounding good right now, right? Now let's start off with the rental. So like a rental for me was when I started off, my rental payment was $5. All right, so but you got Budget, you got Ryder, you got Penske, you got Enterprise. Those are the big four, the main ones. There's plenty of other smaller rental companies, but these are the main four. So usually, from my experience, Penske, Enterprise, Ryder charge like a $2,500 security deposit, but then they either take your weekly payment out of that and then you got to repay the security deposit, or sometimes you have to pay the whole security deposit plus like your $1,000 or $1,100 a week for that rental. So it can be anywhere from, when you go in with them companies with that security deposit, it's around $2,500 to $3,500 to start in a rental. But I didn't start with them because I didn't have that money. So a little bit about my journey is I had eviction notice on my door. I lost my job, but I always been working on my credit. I used my credit to get a loan, and then I had a $14,000 loan. So that's when I paid the eviction. I paid thousands of dollars in mentorship, consultations. I spent around, I'll get into the rental part in a minute. I had to get my insurance. My insurance down payment was like $2,600. That was like my monthly insurance rate. All that stuff, my equipment, everything. So I basically spent the $14,000 loan with $7,000 interest. Literally, like I had to pay $7,000 interest. So it was like $21,000, but I got $14,000, and then I wound up spending that whole loan to just jump out on the road, and I had like $1,000 for gas at the end of it. So basically, my rental. So I couldn't afford a security deposit on one of them, a Ryder, which I would have liked to go with Ryder. I like the Ryder trucks. I feel like Ryder takes the best care of the trucks. Like Enterprise as well. Penske's cool. So I didn't have that $2,500 security deposit, yo. I didn't have that money. I needed a little bit of money for gas over the road. I wasn't prepared. I didn't even have all like my business credit cards lined up. I just literally winged it because that eviction notice was on my door, and I had to get to it or go back to the streets and hustle. And we're not trying to do that. I got a son, trying to give him a different life, trying to get away from that. So that's what we did. We took that leap of faith and we went over the road in that rental. So I went with Budget. All right, so now look, y'all, with Budget, it's usually $500 to $700 a week. For me, it was $700 because I was under the age of 25. If you're under the age of 25, they charge you like an extra $200 a week. So it was $700 for me for that. Then they was charging me, I think, 18 cents a mile. Usually they charge you from as low as 12 cents a mile. I done heard as high as 25 cents a mile. So we'll say like the average is like from 17 to 20 cents per mile, which comes out to like $300 to $500 a week, give or take. So I was spending about like $1,200 a week on my rental. Like I said, there sometimes with the rental companies, they'll also ask you to get physical damage. So here's another thing you want to do is when you get your rental, right, you don't want to pay for their insurance. You want to throw their VIN number on their truck while you're there at the lot getting your rental audit, throw their VIN number on to your insurance, give them this, put them as the certificate holder, Budget Avis Group, Ryder, Penske Rentals, Enterprise. Then you want to put them onto your certificate. You want to add them as a certificate holder. Then you want to give them your COI, so they're not charging you extra for insurance. Now, sometimes some rental companies charge you like an extra $100 a week for what is it? For like physical damage. So, but I added budget onto my so look, also is another thing. Like I believe some rental companies don't work with Progressive, so you'll have to pay that $100 extra for physical damage. But you know, it's the risk we take. It's worth it. So for me, budget was working with Progressive at the time. I don't know if they still work with Progressive. I just added the physical damage onto my insurance, so I avoid paying that $100 with them. Now, all right. So look, we're at all right. So usually, usually like the average rental payment after driving like your 2,000 to 3,000 miles a week, we'll say that 2,500 miles. We'll say like around 1,000 to 1,300. We'll just say rental for 1,100. Like I said, my expenses was higher than most, so I'll just say rental 1,100. So now we're at $2,850, right, with the rental. I mean, with fuel, insurance, driver pay, factor, and tolls, we're at $2,850. Let me double check that. No, we're at $2,900. We're at $2,900. 1,200 plus 500, 17 plus 1,000. 2,700, 150 plus 50. We're at 2,900, y'all. So now you add that 1,100 for the rental. Now we're at 4,000. Now here's also something you want to keep in mind. In a rental, no, you don't got to pay maintenance. You don't got to pay maintenance. That is the good thing. You don't have to pay maintenance, okay? That is a good thing. But hear me out. I'm someone that knew what I was doing. I'm someone that had a great driver. Like, I hired my first driver in a rental truck. Now, we was at like $3,850 in 3 days. We had like a couple different loads going over to the Northeast. We were coming out like Chicago, something like that. We had like $3,850 in the truck, right? I had a great driver. Like, I had a driver. He did not play no games. He's going to haul that load. He's going to get that load there. Now, all right. So what happened is that we got stuck in the middle of Indiana. And basically there was no rentals in that area. Like, the next rental was like states over. They left us out there for 2 weeks. They left us out there to the point where I had to get the rental truck towed. Now, everything was good, but that one mishap, like that one problem was a very big problem. So all the money that I was making from them couple weeks of having a driver, literally lost it all in just 1 week. So what happened is that we broke down to Indiana. The truck stopped running. We had 2 loads in the back of the truck, so that $3,850, we had to get them loads taken off, literally. Then they barely paid it. They paid us pennies off the load because we barely got it anywhere. We only got it 1 state over. I think we was in Indiana, and we only drive 1 state over. So after Chicago was Indiana, Illinois is Indiana. Literally drove it 1 state over. They didn't give us no money, and they had to take both the loads off the truck. I had to get my driver hotels. He was out there for like 2 weeks. You know, you can't do your driver like that. Got to make sure he get a flight back. Just got to make sure he's good in general, because that's the cost of being a boss, you know. So like literally, like, I lost thousands of dollars in that process right there. And then I'm calling a rental company, and like, they know I need them, you know. They know I need them. Like, one of the rental people, like one of the customer service representatives, I remember them like laughing on the phone, like just laughing at the situation. You know, people want you to need them. Remember that. A lot of people want you to need them, and they do weird stuff when you do. So like, you know, I needed them to come get the truck. I needed them to come replace it. And I'm explaining my situation, and there was no help. Now, anytime I broke down anywhere else, I was good. But I was in the middle of Indiana. There was no trucks in a 500-mile radius. Like, literally, I was stuck. So that's when we went from about to make $3,850 in 2-3 days to literally like going negative thousands. And I had to make sure my driver was good. It was only right. And so a lot of people, like everybody's journey is different. A lot of people aren't going to go through what I went through out there. Like I went through stuff that not most people got to go through. I went through a lot out there. But, you know, I will say like you want to be prepared. You know, you do want to pray for the best, but you want to prepare for the worst. And I will say, like, if you don't know how to make that money, you don't know how to properly dispatch, do not put your driver in a rental. That's just like my honest opinion. Like, I just don't think you should do it. You're gonna lose. You don't know how to make the money. I don't think you should do it. If you know how to make the money, it's worth the risk, because like I said, not everybody's gonna go through what I went through. I'm just telling y'all what I went through. So then from that experience, I told myself, you know what? I'm not putting a driver in a rental no more. I'm not gonna do that. So that's when I learned from that, and that's when I also was in a rental. I was in a rental as well. I think I was like 8 months into my journey. At like 6-7 months, I finally like started learning how to dispatch. After taking tens of thousands of dollars of losses, taking dollar a mile loads, you know, having BS dispatchers in the beginning, having me stuck for days to weeks. There's even a time where I had to be away from my son for over 2 months. Like, nobody got me home. I didn't know how to get home. Like, I was just stuck out there. Took tens of thousands of dollars in losses. I was like 100K in debt. My biggest credit card, I was 40K in debt with just American Express alone, which fast forward 2 years later now, you know, all my debt is paid off. And, you know, life is beautiful. No eviction notice. I have a nicer place in a way nicer neighborhood, a nicer car. Family is good, kids good, everybody good. So, you know, 2 years later, this hard work did pay off. But another thing is, I don't recommend you hiring a driver and putting a driver over the road if you never even been over the road. I feel like you should at least get a couple months of experience going over the road so you know how it feels when your driver calls you with the problems. That's another thing that's very important. All right, so like I said, I recommend, you know, I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't get a rental truck and throw a driver in it. But like I said, not everybody's going to go through what I went through. So, you know, you see you could profit $1,000 if you do your 5,000 minimum. Now, just imagine if you have them big weeks of 7, 8, 9, 10,000, which y'all see me have them all the time. There's times where we got 6,000 in a truck at one time, and we're delivering that in 3 days. So, like I said, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it, y'all. You know, who knows? But like I said, everybody's journey is different. So, you know, right there at our minimum 5,000 a week at $2 a mile. Now just think about if you're doing close to $3 a mile and you did 8,000 in a week, you're profiting a few thousand, you know. So I'll say like that $1,000 that you could profit, I think that's nice. You know, I think that's nice. Now, here's the thing though, that I learned with rentals is that if you don't say nothing, they won't reimburse you for nothing. So they have the customer service line. They usually have the commercial department where you sign up for your rental, the customer service line. They have the roadside line, which is when you break down. Every department is different, so you got to go to customer service to get your refunds. Make sure you get a refund for when you break down. Make sure you do. Make sure you save all receipts. They'll even pay for your hotels. I learned that the hard way. I didn't know all that, but you keep your receipts. They'll pay for your hotels. They'll pay for everything. That is the good thing about rentals. And yeah, so all right, now let's go on to the and then another thing is with roadside, if you don't keep calling them and letting them know that you're broken down, they will put you at the bottom of the list. You got to keep harassing them, keep calling them, because you're not the only one broken down on the road. There's probably hundreds, thousands of people in other states that's broken down as well that need a replacement truck. So need a swap out. So like I said, when it comes to roadside, you got to keep calling, keep on calling. All right, you got to keep calling. Sometimes you even have to call the rental companies close by to you to get a swap out, because you know they might have a rental truck available, but they didn't put it in the budget system or the rider system. So you got to sometimes manually call yourself to get a swap out. So like I said, it's all about putting that work and keep putting that work in. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know none of that. I had to learn all that the hard way, but you know, take that advice. Now for finance, I'll say like, you know, all right, so now here's when I also don't recommend, if you're in a rental, putting a driver in a rental, at least get your own truck first. I definitely recommend, you know, get your own truck first. So now, all right, so now we're at finance. We'll do financing next. Now, when it comes to financing, here's another mistake that I made. I made a mistake when it came to financing my truck. So I got a 2012 M2 106 Freightliner. You know, you hear Freightliners, he knows are the best trucks. I got a Freightliner. Now, I paid $60,000. My finance was $16,000. Thank God it's paid off now. But $60,000 and then $16,000 on the finance, so that's $76,000 total. That truck now is like, you can get that truck for like $20,000 to $35,000. You know, I bought that truck when it was like when the market was high, but the market's not as high no more. So M2 106 Freightliner had like 200,000 miles on it, $76,000 total. $60,000 for the truck, $76,000 with the finance. So my monthly finance was around it was around like 2,000, like under, like maybe like 19, like it was like 2,000. So when I break my finance down into weekly payments, that would have been 500. So if we take out the rental, and if we take out the rental and say we're at 2,900, and we add the finance 500, now we're at 3,400. But keep in mind, I got my truck when the market was high. You know, you can get a finance now for like $800 to $1,200 a month. So I'll say for you, finance will be, and also this does have a little bit to do with your credit. We repair credit as well. We repair, we rebuild, all that. We help you repair, rebuild, monitor your credit as well. So if you don't have good credit, come get with us. Now, say we're at like $1,000 a month finance. Break that down into a weekly payment on top of that $2,900. We'll add $250 to it, because like I said, the market's not as high for trucks. So 29 plus 250, we're at 3,150. Now this is what you want to keep in mind. You want to keep this in mind, all right? 250, 3,150. All right, so here's what you want to keep in mind. Maintenance. Maintenance is a very big cost. Now, here's where I made a mistake, y'all. I spent all that money on a truck and I didn't get no warranty. You gotta get a warranty. If you don't get a warranty, then you're gonna get stuck paying for them big problems. There's one time where I had a problem in my def tank, and that problem in my def tank costed me $20,000. So like I had an EGR problem, then I had a DOC problem. Like it was one problem after another. Then I had the SCR. The SCR was like $5,000. Then I had to fix the DPF. Each problem was like $3,000 to $5,000. So it was one time where I had to pay $20,000 to replace my whole def tank. So what I'm trying to say is get that warranty. So like if you have a problem in that first year or them first 2 years of the warranty, or you know that it's covered. Obviously you got to pay for your oil changes, stuff like that, your tires, all that stuff. But like say you got like an engine problem, a transmission problem, a leak, anything like that, it's covered. So don't make that mistake that I made, not getting a warranty. Also, I believe with some, like I bought my truck off a rider. I believe now like the cutoff is a 2012, so I think you have to get a 2012 and higher in order to get the warranty. Whatever that warranty costs, get it. Usually like $3,000 to $4,000 a year. I was trying to be cheap, and boom, I should have got that warranty. So make sure you get that warranty, because that will save you a lot of money. Like I said, I had one time where I had to pay $20,000, and that's not even including all the other times that I broke down and had problems. I had leaks as well, but that was my biggest expense, my biggest breakdown. So for like maintenance, I would put like 10% to the side every week, which if you make $5,000, say you gross $5,000, 10%, that'd be like $500. So $3,150 plus $500, that puts you at $3650. Like I said, you know, like when it comes to an oil change, usually you get an oil change every like 15 to 20,000 miles. Even if you're doing 2,500 miles a week and you get a change at 10,000 miles, you only spend like $200 to $300 a month. So usually you wind up having a whole nother bank account for the maintenance, saving that money, and that adds up over time. So that 3150, put the 500 to the side for the maintenance just in case. Now you're at 3650. That leaves you a profit of 1350 if you're doing that $5,000 minimum. 1350 with a driver in it. You can't beat that. That's decent. Say you get like 3 to 5 trucks, you make more money. So 1350, and that's with owning your truck. 5,000 minus 3650, that's 1350. Now imagine when you had in weeks where you do 7, 8, 9,000 and you're way over your $2 a mile RPM. Some good money right there. You say you get more trucks, that's some good money, Now let's do owning. Say you just bought the truck outright and you own the truck. Now we're at that 3150. You still want to put that 500 to the side for maintenance a week. So that 3150 plus 500, that puts you at 3650 as well, and gives you a 1350 profit. Yeah, so those are like your main expenses. A lot of people do like the lease a truck. Me personally, I wouldn't lease a truck. I don't want to be stuck into like a year lease, 6-month lease. I don't want to be stuck into a lease. If I'm going to pay for a lease, I might as well pay for a finance. Usually a lease is the same price as a finance. So like lease is not, you're not going to own it. You're basically just renting it. You got to give it back. You mess it up, they charge you. You just spending all this money. Finance is the route to go. So I'm not even going to put the lease on expenses in there because it's probably around the same price as the rental. So with that being said, is you can profit if you do your 5,000 at 2,500 miles at $2 RPM rate per mile. In a rental, after all your expenses, you're at $1,000 profit. And if you with your own truck, you're at 1,350. Now, like I said, imagine if you get over that $2. Imagine if you get $3 RPM, or you're doing $7, $8, $9, $10,000 a week, or weeks like that, you're going to be making thousands of dollars. Or you get 3 to 5 trucks. Now, here's one thing I will say when it comes to like dispatching. I could teach you everything you need to know, but it's impossible to dispatch more than 5 trucks. I'll say like regular, like yourself, I feel like one person can handle like 3, but like dispatching more than 5 trucks is just, that's a lot. So I don't recommend getting more than 5 trucks unless you're gonna teach someone how to dispatch around you so they can dispatch that truck for you. I don't recommend you dispatching more than 5 trucks, but what's normal is like around 3. But yeah, so I'm gonna go over it one more time. So So $5,000, 2,500 miles. Fuel's around like 1,200, give or take. Sometimes 800, 900. Sometimes you're getting a triple in a box truck. So we'll say 1,200 on the high end. Insurance is around 500 with an average payment of 2,000. Like I said, some people only got to pay 1,000 or 1,500 a month for insurance. So right there on the high end, 500 a week. When you break that down into weekly payments, driver pay, you want to pay them 20% of the gross, 20% of the business. You want them to feel like a partner. So that's like $1,000 a week. Factoring 3%, that comes out to 150. Tolls, give or take $50, sometimes less, sometimes more. So we're at 2,900. Rental puts you at 1,100. That's usually the weekly payment with the miles. If you own a truck, like I said, you just gotta put your maintenance to the side every week. With rental, you don't, because they pay for the maintenance. That's not your job. And then with financing, that puts you also at 30. Oh no! I did one thing wrong. Hold on 1 second. So your finance, say you have to spend $250. So say you spend on that 2,900, $250. That puts you at 3,150, 500, 3,650. That's in the finance. I got to take that $250 out. So in your own truck, that's going to be 2,900 plus 500. And that's going to put you at 3,400. My fault, y'all. So you can profit 1,600 owning. 1,600 owning. All right, my fault, y'all. 1,600 owning. And so, like I said, it is worth it to get a driver, whether you're in a rental, whether you're owning the truck, financing the truck. It is worth it. But I tell y'all, if you don't know how to dispatch, you don't know how to get the money, then it's not worth it at all. That's just my opinion. You don't want to do that to the driver. You don't want to have them out there sitting for days and weeks, wasting their time. And you also don't want to be hurting yourself, hurting your pockets, you know. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to end this video. Y'all see the Believe in Achieve merch, you know, just DM me on Instagram. DM me on Instagram, put your order in. I'll ship it out and get that in like 2 to 3 business days. And if you have a request, you got a video you want me to do, just comment it below this video or DM me, and then I'll try to get that video done. This video was the truth about hiring drivers. I tried to give y'all all the information. And like I said, if you want to learn this business, there's multiple things that I offer. You can either buy the guides and, you know, buy the guides like how to start your box truck company. You can buy that guide and all the information is there. You can do it yourself. If you want me to help you one-on-one complete your do the whole setup, that's $1,000. I could walk you through everything. If you want me to do it where you don't have to type no information, I'll probably charge like an extra fee, but I can do that for you as well. Mentorship, which is 3 months, is $3,000. That's where we come up with a plan every day. I'm by your side. I'll help you with everything. Unlimited, $5,000. And then also we have a live dispatch training, which is probably going to be $1,000. It's over 60 gigabytes of information. There's over 10 hours of information, live dispatching, teaching you everything you need to know, me showing you me doing it, me giving you like the full sauce, not hiding nothing from you, raw and uncut. That's probably gonna be like $1,000. But like I said, I got every service you need. I recommend before investing in anything, let's get on a consultation where I could just give you the real and we see if it's for you, because I get on a consultation with some people that want to get into this game, but they're just not ready. They don't got all their ducks in a row, so we come up with a game plan so they can get ready, you know. But yeah, y'all, get a consultation first where I give you the real. We can get on a consultation that day or the following. Just DM me on Instagram and we'll come up with a time that day. And if I'm available, we'll get right to it. And that's it, y'all. If you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything. You know, show love to this video. Drop some comments, like everything. All right, y'all. God bless.